What's up, everybody? What's good, YouTube? What's up, happy people? Happy New Year once again. This is BGFX Legend, and in this video, I'm here with an amazing, interesting topic: hidden supply and demand zones, right? And I hope most of you guys in a phase where you're saying that 2025 is my year and I'm trying to learn as much as I can, get the best information, the best tools possible for my trading. And guess what? I've made it a mandate, and I've made it clear that this year I'm going to share some real nuggets with you guys. So let's dive into it. Hidden supply and demand zones. I want you guys to just take a moment to look at this price action. We have this down push, right? This bearish push, and here we have this bullish push. I want you to spot the difference. If you understand supply and demand, drop based drop, rally based rally, continuation patterns, I want you to look carefully at this, and I want you to spot the difference. So I'm going to pause for a moment. All right. So I know most of you guys saw what is here, and some you did not see. So if we look at this price action, we can see that the market is in a downtrend or in a down push. It's making lower highs, lower lows in terms of the structures. But there's something amazing or something in particular that I want to talk about. So if we look at this, both of these price actions, we'll see that these are all rally-based rally, drop-based drop, continuation, supply and demand patterns. But the difference is that here we have a different candle. In other words, a candle that has got a different color. We have bullish candles represented by the color blue, and then we have the black bearish candle that is at this doji candle, right? It's actually the opposite of what we are seeing here. So we have price pushing up, and all of a sudden we have a pause in price or a basing with a doji indecision candle. But when we look at this price action, price is pushing to the downside. But what we do not have here is that the candle, yes, it's a doji, it's a rejection, indecision, and a strong leg out, but these candles are of the same color. So most people, they are so familiar with looking at supply and demand when candles are actually the same, when candles are actually different. I mean, when they're looking at these candles, all of a sudden there's a pause. It's quick for you to identify a demand zone or a supply zone. But if the candles are of the same color, like in this picture, it becomes different. So if I do this quickly, you're going to see that now the candles are of the same color. It's quite difficult to see, and unless or otherwise you are trained. So what are these hidden supply and demand levels? You will see a drop and then a basing, and then you see an indecision candle. And after that, immediately after, you see a strong leg out, a price point or a price leg or a candle that actually breaks this with a very strong push, right? And same applies here. You see price pushing up and then pausing or basing, and all of a sudden you see a very strong push to the upside or a strong leg out after an indecision. But the candle, the indecision candle, must actually do one thing, one important thing. It needs to reject to the upside, or in other words, it needs to push and reject before it pushes down. Same applies here. It needs to push, it needs to push up, rejects to the downside before it pushes. That's exactly what we are seeing with this price action. Okay, so indecision, rejection, and then a strong leg out. Okay, so I need to just type this quickly. Okay, so number one, you're going to see indecision. Number two, you're going to see a what? Indecision or basing here, right? Indecision or, so you have indecision and basing. And then number two, you're going to see a strong leg out. Okay. And then three, you are going to see that the candles are of the same color. Okay. It's very simple, quite simple. Okay. So indecision is just a basing or a doji. Okay. Something like this. So now the question that comes in is that So how do we mark these zones? When we see them, please, you must never ignore these levels in the markets. You must never ignore these levels in the markets. You need to practice, you need to understand this, because they're going to help you with your take profit, they're going to help you with placing trades, and they're going to help you. Think about it as a blind spot. You're driving and you do not know what you're up against or what is coming on a cave, right? So if you know whether you need to reduce your speed or whether you need to slow down a little bit. So now let me show you how to mark now. Okay, now that we have identified this, now I just want to say this quickly, okay? When you are analyzing the markets, you need to take your time to look at price. Zoom out as much as you can so that you look. Take your time to look, because if you don't look, you're going to miss this. So how you can mark this? Let's say you have a drop-based drop. You can either mark from here to here, like I showed you guys. I showed you this when we were marking. So you can mark it from the low point to the high point, or from this point to the point, or from the 50, or from the basing here, which is the market baseline. So I'm just going for this tutorial, I'm just going to mark it like this quickly. Same applies here. We're pushing up. This is our indecision. I'm going to mark it like this, and then I will stretch. So what we are saying here is that we are expecting that when price comes back to this level, that is our supply, and we are looking for to sell. Okay, same applies here. When price comes back to this demand, we are looking to buy, or we are looking to. So you can use this as your take profit target, or you can use it as your area where you are looking to buy. So this is your hidden supply zone, and then this is your hidden demand zone. Okay, so that's simple. So you look at this from any time frame, the monthly, the weekly, the daily. But I need to mention that these are highly powerful when you are looking them from the monthly time frame, the weekly time frame, the daily time frame, the H4, or maybe H2. H1 becomes, yes, it's okay, but it becomes a bit weaker. So these are the time frames that if you are to then integrate with your system, you are going to enjoy the trade setups. Okay. All right. We need to understand that hidden supply and demand zones, they can actually deflect price and give you trades or trade setups. Okay. And these supply and demand hidden zones, they are actually hidden, and it only takes a trained eye to see. They are powerful when combined with other concepts. Like I always say, we do not just trade supply and demand, okay? And never ignore these setups or these levels at all costs, because they might actually cut short your profits, or you might actually imagine you are trying to enter into a trade, and you want to be buying in a zone like this, right? You want to be buying here. Imagine you're trying to buy here, and you see all of a sudden you just enter into a trade and the market is selling against you, and you don't know what's going on. Okay, so you can actually add them into your trading toolbox. So now, without wasting much time, let's get into the actual charts, and then I'll just do two examples to show you how this works. And for those of you who are interested in learning from us, BGFX Trading Academy, we do have a full mentorship program that is currently at a discount. So if you really love this kind of information, and if you want to learn how we trade, how we place our trade, how we analyze, how we monitor our trades, manage our trades, and how we trade with capital, prop firm capital, your personal capital, how to flip accounts, just click the links in the description and I'll speak to you. And also, I need to mention that I do give people a free trading consultation call, trying to understand the challenges that you're facing and how I can help you and how you can fit into our trading academy. So let's get into the examples, and I'll show you exactly how this looks like on an actual chart. All right, looking at this price action, we can see that the market has been in an uptrend. We can see that the market has been in an uptrend here. So I need to emphasize that I'm not really focusing on structure. I'm just trying to show you guys The market has been creating higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. And please leave a comment if you'd like me to do a structure video. Okay, so we can see that there was a structure break of price, and we see that inside this leg we had two zones, right? We had this extreme supply zone, and for those of you guys who understand how we identify these supply zones, by now you know why this is marked. Okay, so if you do not understand, please go and watch the first two videos. The links are going to be in the description below, and if you just started here, you can watch this video but still go back to the first videos and you understand the basics of supply and demand, what supply and demand is, and why we tend to use it. And before I continue as well, I need to say that if you really love this content, please like this in the video. Just click the like button, and subscribe. Click the like button so that this video will get to as many people as possible, people like yourself, and it will also help me to create more content. Okay, so when we're looking at this leg, we can see we have a strong push, a very large candle, and a basing, a pause, and then another strong leg out. Look at this dodgy indecision kind of a candle, and it has a very strong wick. That is the candle we are talking about. That is a hidden zone. Notice that the color of the candle is still the same with these bearish candles. If it was a bullish candle, for most people it's very easy, like just like I did here. But in this case, we can see that the candle is actually of the same color, so it becomes tricky for an untrained eye, which is why I am training you guys. Okay, so drop, base, drop. Now when we're looking at this, this becomes our supply. So you can mark from here all the way up. That's your hidden supply zone, or you can mark it from here. It just depends with your preference, right? So what we have now, we have, let me use this. So now what we have here is we have a hidden supply zone, hidden supply zone. That's why you see that when the market came here, it did not get here all the way up, stopped here and started dropping, right? Started dropping. So we do not just end up blindly. We do not just trade or place a trade blindly. There are so many confluences we look at. There are so many things we look at before we can actually place a trade, or either to take sniper entries or high risk to reward ratio trades. Just like the trade which I took this week of gold, and it was really amazing. I'm going to show it here, and you'll see I actually posted it on our Instagram page. Make sure you follow us on our Instagram page as well, where I just post updates and things that are going on. All right, so that's it about this sell trade, or this hidden base. So I need to look for a buy trade, and I'll show you exactly how it looks like. Like I said, I need to make sure that this video is as short as possible. All right, looking at this price action, we can actually see that the market has been in an uptrend, breaking these highs, right? High, and then we had a higher low point, and then we can see also that we took out this structural high. And like I said, my focus is not on structure, but just for you to see. So notice how we had a push, and then we had a basing here, and then a push. The candles are still of the same color, but we have a posing with a dodgy indecision that rejects to the bottom side. When you look at the first diagrams that I gave you guys, you see that this becomes your what? That becomes your hidden base demand zone. Okay, hidden base demand zone. Notice the strong leg out. That is very, very important. Okay, so if we stretch out, we can see that the market came here and then started buying from there. Okay, and when we look up again, we can see that we had another push, a rally, base rally. We based again with a dodgy indecision and then a strong leg out of the same color. This is still hidden. Okay, see, when the market pushed up, like I said, you can mark it like this, you can mark it like this. It just depends with the preference. From there, the market just tapped the zone, right? Just tapped the zone, and then we can see that the market pushed all the way up. So that becomes your what? Your hidden demand zone on the higher time frame. Like you see, we are on the daily. So now imagine you're trading on the H1 time frame and you do not understand exactly what the market is trying to do, and you see all of a sudden price is actually returned, because I understand that most people are actually looking at the extreme demand zone right here, which is still a good zone, but you will notice that the market is just reversing directly or right from this particular level, and you wonder why or what's happening in the markets. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, if you really enjoyed this video, please leave a comment, please leave a like. Until the next video, until the next tutorial, a peace.